I just want to say, like all of us has a unique story, and we shouldn't compare our studies to anyone else. And we shouldn't think that if we see like someone's study, it's the only way. No, what I learned all these years in United States, there are tons of ways to achieve, and it doesn't mean if you have a zero experience, it doesn't mean you don't have any chances. You have tons of chances. Okay, maybe if you compare to someone over there, it's not the same opportunities, but you will start here and then you will reach out here. But still, you have chances. So never compare your studies, like your stories, to anyone else, or don't think that their story or their way is the only one way to achieve these goals. Don't think that.
When I started my USMLE journey, everybody that I knew that were at my stage, they left for USA when I was doing internship, like 4 or 5 years ago. So if I thought about that, then I would be so overwhelmed that I'm so late. But despite anything, I just focused on my journey.
What I'm doing, what I'm looking. And then, like, out of these five institutions, I didn't go through to their like application process because the timeline was kind of was different than I expected because these five institutions they had a strict timeline to apply, and I didn't want to wait their timelines. So I decided to go through this 80 emails.
It gives all the information, and at the same time, it is not unnecessarily, big that they get tired at
Yes,
looking and they just don't want to respond because there is so much going on in the email.
yes.
Hi guys, welcome to the live. I'm sure you might be waiting for this one since long. So we will invite Dr. Bushra to talk about what is her research experience in USA. So let's just invite her. Hi Bushra, how are you?
Hi, Kavita. How are you?
So nice to finally do this. We have like quite many people that join. So
Yes.
just to start with the introduction, she is Dr. Bushra and she's a postdoc fellow who was working in Mayo's before and now she's working in Yale University. So big deal, guys. So very excited for this life. How are you feeling?
Like thank you so much. This, like the cute and impressive introduction.
Of
But
course.
it's not that too like it's not too much. It's not that big deal. I
Oh
think
no, it is.
everyone have an amazing, the impression or amazing like the success in their stories.
That's so true. And it is so funny how we undervalue our own achievements and we think that it is not enough, even from the audience. I'm sure everyone who has done even the med school and they would think, oh, but I've done nothing. So
Yeah.
this is so funny, but yeah, you have achieved so much and I'm so proud of you and thank you for coming to live.
Thank you so much, Kota. You're so sweet, but I think you're doing amazing as well. Like, yeah, most people we are kind of the like people we are kind of like trying to underestimate our values and like our achievements because we are kind. We don't have that much ego, so that's why.
True,
But
that's
like
true.
I envy you. Like you're amazing. You're doing
Oh,
doing great things,
thank you.
inspiring the people.
Thank you. That means a lot. So to start with the video, so I'll just like like frame how this live is going to be. So everyone can post their questions and we'll talk about the research experience. And I've been getting so many DMs like, how's the research like, and how to apply. And I'm sure even you, because you are also working as a postdoc. So to start with our live today, so my first question for you was, where did you do your med school from and why did you decided to come to USA?
Okay, yeah. Thank you so much for your question. So, first of all, I would like to start that I'm originally from Turkey, but I did
Wow.
my medical university in Bulgaria, another like small European country.
Hmm.
And it was really different experience for me because from different culture to another different culture, like Turkey and
Yeah,
Bulgaria
that's
is like
true.
neighbors, but they have a different culture and similarity as well in this like different cultures.
Right.
And also like during my medical school, because like Bulgaria is a small European country, so my diploma is
Hmm.
my education is the European system and European diploma. So during my medical university, I was like thinking, where should I go, after the university, or go back to my country or another country. And then finally, like back in the 2017, I had the opportunity to come to United States, to the San Francisco, for
Oh.
some exchange
Uh-huh.
short period. And then I kind of fell in love, in California because especially like if we go back in the time, this is my like kind of the childhood dream. Like
Yeah.
if you ask my dad, my dad will be like, oh my God, Bushra equals America, California, to be a doctor,
Oh,
like to be a doctor,
oh.
just travel the world, like this kind of things, like he will describe me. And then, like, of course, to spend their time, I just fell in love with United States and the system. But of course, as a medical student and like as a like cultural exchange program, so I didn't have that much like medical exposure. So then I went back. Of course, I finished my medical university. Then I decided, okay, either go to Germany or come to United States. And I say that like, okay, this is kind of the like dream for me. So why not give a try and like, see how it will be and learn the medical system there. And then, of course, according to approaches, like, or according to steps, then I will decide it, okay, this is the life that I want to build in the United States, or anytime I can go back to, the Europe, any European country. So my journey started that. And after I graduated, I worked like kind of it was like 7, 8 months back in the
Mhm.
Bulgaria after like the graduation as a like graduated intern doctor, like kind of the pre-residency training because in Bulgaria it's a little bit different. So
Mhm.
you don't directly get in the residency, you kind of do the kind of pre-residency training.
Got it.
So
Like an
then
intern year in US.
yeah, kind of, but we also had the intern year in Bulgaria before
Ah.
graduation.
Oh,
Yeah,
got
so
it.
it's kind
Okay.
of like it's kind of PGY 1 year
One.
here,
Okay, got it.
but it's kind of still like it's not the saved position for
Got
residency.
it. Got
It's
it.
kind of
Okay.
again the intern year, but
Uh-huh.
still like it's not like
Not
a
exactly
yeah,
that you're
not
safe to be
exactly.
called as a
Yes, yes,
resident.
yes,
Got
yes,
it.
yes.
Okay.
And
Oh,
then I like while working there I decided, okay, I will go and try my chance there. So then I came to United States and I started at Mayo Clinic.
oh, that's amazing. I mean, honestly, like it was so relatable for me, and I'm sure, like for so many others, that that one trip that we take while in our med school or whenever we are young, and just getting that exposure. For me, it was one of our conferences in Singapore. So that was my first exposure as a doctor going outside India. And that day, I thought, okay, so life can be like this as well. So I'm going to try something. So even I wasn't sure. I looked at so many places like Dubai, Singapore,
Yes.
Australia, and Canada, and finally settled for USA. So that's very similar journey. And thank you for sharing that. I'm sure that
Yeah.
would be so inspiring for so many people. So my next important question is, did you have any research experience before starting your position in Mayos?
Yeah, this is really like excited and everyone wonders these questions
Right.
because I do always get this question as well. So honestly, because okay, I work in Mayo Clinic and I'm working at another Ivy institution. So everyone expect me to have a like amazing background regarding research. But honestly, I didn't have any. When I started my research journey, I was literally kind of blind. I'm sorry, like, the like empty, you can imagine like an empty page, but willing to fill out this page. So I didn't have any experience. I didn't even publish a single like case report, just the basic, because
Mhm.
back in my university, we didn't have that much like research, like a guidance. So like none of my professor kind of like guide us to involve the research side of the medicine. So I didn't have. I learned everything I after I started my research experience here, and even still I'm learning different things because research seems so easy and like seems so like, oh, there's
It's all
just the
planned
one
out.
things, or
Yeah.
like, like, or if I learned this kind of, oh, retrospective or prospective studies or case report. But honestly, research is kind of like a big oceans, like all the time you have opportunity to learn the different things, not just the, like the doing the data part, like analysis, writing. Even you can learn the different studies that you assume this study, but could be the something different, and your mentor or your institution will give you opportunity to learn that. So but like everything that I learned so far, I learned here in America. Before that, I
Wow.
didn't have any experience. I didn't even know what was the case report. I can like quickly, I can share the one experience, if it's all right for you.
Of course.
Like when I started the first my job as a researcher, like my mentor gave me the first case report project, because honestly, this is the most of time. If you don't have any experience, your mentor will give you the case report to see like
Right.
how is your like, the literature cert or writing skills, everything. And you know what? I did okay, so I don't want to, like underestimate like my work. I did
Hmm.
so many work, and I did the good literature search, and I started writing everything. And then when I delivered the project to my mentor was like that. Okay, this looks amazing, but I will have a, like the first comment without even reading anything. Just you have to know that introduction shouldn't be longer than the discussion. And I was like, oh my God, I was a little bit like,
That's so funny.
yes,
I've been there. I've been
like,
there.
it, even like, even he didn't read all the paper, but like he was so, but it was like really nice way to say that, but like he was really like, okay, I will give you the 1 point without even review your project. You have to think that the introduction shouldn't
It
be
shouldn't
longer
be
than the
there.
discussion. I was like, I felt so embarrassed, but still, it wasn't that longer, but still, like if you
No.
compare, but then it was really good. Comments for me, but still nice comment. I do still remember, and I always tell the people, like who is in the beginning of their journeys. I just say that these are the good comments and like kind of help you to improve. So don't get mad. But it was really like a little bit
Why?
embarrassing moments, but I learned.
No, I've had so many embarrassing moments myself, and so many things that I wanted to point out from what you said. And thank you for saying that, you had no research experience, because I'm sure so many of us do not even want to try to, get into research. And it is so uncomfortable for us as somebody who has no research experience to
Mhm.
start applying, because we kind of like announce ourselves as already a failure before even starting our journey. So this is for everyone who thinks that they need to have the research experience before, applying for a research position, be is the fellowship or even the observership. But yeah, I had like the similar experience. I did not have anything great. I mean, because I did my residency, so yes, I got few opportunities. But if I started out after my med school, I had zero experience, and I had so many like classmates of mine who were great with research, and they know in their, med school, like year one, two, or three, that okay, they have to go to US, and this is how it
Mhm.
should pan out. But that's what I keep on talking about in my videos. Your journey, it's not need to be perfect. You do not need to plan it on in year one, two, three. And if you do, that's great. But if you don't, that does not mean that you cannot start from where you are today. And I was looking at the comments. Thank you guys for commenting. So somebody commented, this is so relatable. That's where I am at. No research papers, no guidance. So I mean, we all started somewhere from that. So
Yes.
like kudos to you for, starting from scratch. And now look at you working in Yale, worked in Wales. So you learned everything in your research position. Now I am gonna come to the million-dollar question is
Yes.
how many places did you apply to and what was your approach?
Yeah, thank you so much again the question. But before this, like answering to this question, I just want to make a one comment as you mentioned. I just want to say, like all of us has a unique story, and we shouldn't compare our studies to anyone else. And we shouldn't think that if we see someone's study, it's the only way. No, what I learned all these years in the United States, there are tons of ways to achieve. And it doesn't mean if you have a zero experience, it doesn't mean you don't have any chances. You have tons of chances. Okay, maybe if you compare to someone over there, it's not the same opportunities, but you will start here and then you will reach out here. But still you have chances. So never compare your studies, like your stories, to anyone else, or don't think that their story or their way is the only one way to achieve these goals. Don't think that. So I just want to comment at that.
That's so beautiful. Even for me, when I started my USMLE journey, everybody that I knew that were at my stage, they left for USA when I was doing internship, like 4 or 5 years ago. So if I thought about that, then I would be so overwhelmed that I'm so late. But despite anything, I just focused on my journey, and it's okay because my journey does not need to look like them or it has to be perfect. Because the more we do something, in one field, we are indirectly or directly gaining some kind of experience that might be the other people not gaining that experience. So yeah, really like good addition to the topic that we are
Yeah.
discussing.
No, thank you so much the opportunity to at least add this comment. And if I turn back to your question, so question was the how many programs or the institution that I apply, right? Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so this is another like tricky part. Okay, honestly, first I came to United States. I came as an observer. So first I apply the institution for observership. And so when I applied to observership, I applied five different institutions in a regular way through their website. And also, I sent, I believe, 80 emails to different surgeons and
Wow.
express, like, kind of what I'm doing, what I'm looking. And then, like, out of these five institutions, I didn't go through their like application process because the timeline was kind of was different than I expected because these five institutions they had a strict timeline to apply and I didn't want to wait their timelines, so I decided to go through this 80 emails, and out of 80 I got 15 positive response back as an observership. And normally I was trying to like the make this observership back in the like back and back. So but then first was the Mayo Clinic Florida, and when I went there as an observer I complete my observership, but then the kind of the God had the different plans for me, so I couldn't go through the other observership because I got my first research job at Mayo Clinic. So my like kind of the first research job is kind of followed this path, and I got my first research job at Mayo Clinic from the inside while I'm doing my observership. And then the of course the second time, while I'm applying from Mayo Clinic to the Yale University, I was kind of a little bit like, I don't want to say picky, but I was a little bit picky because yeah, I applied I believe I applied 50. Yeah, I applied 50, but this 50 is kind of the really selected places because I was literally applying to the specific places, specific institutions, specific surgeons, cardiac surgeons, because I had the experience and I
Right.
had the some background, and then also I knew what I was looking, so I applied kind of 50.
Amazing. Wow. So, any of you who might be thinking, oh, but I've applied to so many programs and I'm not still getting accepted. So, I think this is such a great, motivation for everyone.
I just want to say that, I mean, I had like friends and also students that I'm mentoring. Like, yes, some people they have so many kind of numbers they apply. Like, I know like 300s, it's even possible. They send it 300 emails. But
Wow.
I just say that this is kind of the game. You have to know how to play,
Play. True.
like, because if you don't know how to play this game, of course you can send a thousands email. And I
Right.
have like the surgeons, like mentors, that I know their email box. Oh my God, they have so many emails. Or I know their
Honestly, yeah.
LinkedIn account, like they receive a lot of applications. Even these are the like kind of unfamiliar path, not like through the LinkedIn application, like apply the job, or through the institution's website, like through the apply the job. This is kind of the side application through their emails or LinkedIn accounts or say another social media. So that's why I always say that you have to know how to play the games, how to reach
That
out to people, how to know what to say and how to talk.
that's so true. And especially it's more of like kind of selling yourself, and first impression matters the most. This is so true. Like your first email should be crafted like in such a way
Yeah.
that it gives all the information, and at the same time it is not unnecessarily, big, that they get tired at
Yes.
looking and they just don't want to respond because there is so much going on in the email.
Yes.
So what was your application process like? And can I say that I'm really impressed because people like give up in the mid, somewhere around 30 or 40, but you just kept on going. So that also talks about how resilient you are and how sure you were, because the most number of questions that I get in my DM or even in the reels is it even worth it? And I just laugh at that question. I mean, anyone who asks that question just don't want to do that thing, You
Yes.
were like r- persistent for your dream, so you wanted to do it, and
Yes.
there was no looking back. So at that time of applying, you were not looking at the numbers, but you had a
Yes.
goal in your mind. So
Yes.
this is such a reminder for everyone out there is yes, your application needs to be really good, but also you have to be passionate enough, hopeful enough that it is meant for you, even if, things might not be working. Like 15 reply out of 80, someone might think that it is too less, but even one response is that matters if it
Yes.
turns out to be positive. So every single response,
Yes.
counts.
Yes. No, you're completely right. I agree that like when the application time comes, even like all kind of application, it doesn't matter only the research position or observer or job, like any kind of application process. You shouldn't focus the numbers. You should always focus the result because
Right.
there's so many doors and so many windows, And I want to say that someone told me that one time, if you knock to one door and if you couldn't get any response, then try the windows, Still there are the windows you can sneak in. So it doesn't matter how many doors or how many windows you try. at the end only matter, did you achieve your goals at the end or not? Because I'm telling, like, these numbers could be even more. I told you I have come across, like, I work someone and then like, and they send it like out of, I think they send like 300 something, but now like this person has a job as a postdoc. So this is the thing. Is it worth it, or is it the number matter? If you think that, then maybe you should turn back and you should kind of consider or kind of judge your wishes or goals are correct or align what you want in the life or not. Because if you focus only your goals or your dreams or wishes, then you will not count the numbers or like the how
It's
many
true.
times, nothing, because you will not see them. You will only see what you're getting, like what you're getting as an end result. Of course, after you get it, then you will think, oh my God, I sent this much or I applied that much. But then during the process, you will only focus what you are looking and what you want to get it. So I agree. Like if you think, if you're questioning yourself, oh, does it worth you or not? Then I think you should rethink your dreams again.
That's so true. Yeah, that's so true. I mean, beautifully said. And coming back to our process for application, so how did you pan out your application,
Yes.
and would you send it all at once, or did you divide it in a certain way? And what was your like mode of communication? Did you just apply over the emails, or did you use other platforms like LinkedIn, just like I did? What was
Mm-hmm.
it like?
Okay, so honestly, I didn't use to my own application for like LinkedIn or the Twitter, the recent name is the X, but I use them for my friends or my
Mhm.
like mentor, like my students. But
Mentees,
honestly, my
yeah.
mentees, like honestly, my own application, I only use the email, and I
Mhm.
apply through the email. And what I like send them in the beginning, or how I structure my emails. So actually, like my main goal in the beginning is getting the observership. So I was trying to explain briefly who I am, what I'm doing currently, and what I want to do in the future, let's say in 2, 3 years, and then what I'm looking and why I'm reaching to them, like what was the purpose. So kind of the what things made me think they can fit in my goals, in my journal. So then also what I send them my CV, and I send them my current letter of recommendation. Because why I did that, like when I applied, I was out of United States. So kind of I was like, no one they know, and I need some support to say that, okay, this person, it's kind of the medical graduate and know what she's doing and what she's looking, and I can kind of watch you. She's a good person, good student, and good medical doctor, and like willing to learn more from your expertise. Kind of like we, because when you apply from outside, we need either really good background or kind of
Right,
sport. So
right,
if you don't have a good background as a research base or any like kind of like leadership positions or any like observership in other the countries, but what you have a like support from your institution or from your doctors, like your teachers, then you can use that. So I use the letter from my doctor, and I send them my CV, and also well structured emails, not overwhelmed emails, just like focusing the main points. And then I expect them, like, and then I waited them to respond and ask more. Of
hmm,
course, like when I got a positive response back, it was kind of more like, oh, okay, can you send me like a cover letter briefly, like what you did more detailedly, or like what are your goals in detail. So then either I send them the cover letter, or I send them another letter, that because like it's not always the name wise, because we all like, the most of the mentees, they ask, okay, what is the name of this letter? But the thing is, when you get the response back, it doesn't matter what they
Matter. Yeah,
call it, like they
true.
can call, like they can say that, oh,
They can call it
send me
personal statement.
yes,
Yeah,
yeah, they can
anything.
call personal statement or letter or some draft that you talk about yourself. This could be also. And then another step, of course, they say, like, even before that, they can directly, offer your interview. Like,
Right.
they can
That's
offer
true.
you
Yeah.
interview to know you better and then know your goals or like plans better. So this was the way that I did, and I sent the supplements that, and yeah, that's it.
Wow, that's amazing. So many things to talk about what you mentioned, like first about the email. So, like, it should be beautifully crafted, and you talk about yourself and what you have done. And I know that it can be really, full of insecurity, especially when you have done your med school and you're not feeling confident that you have done anything. But honestly, if I had been at your place, who is watching this video, I would just start looking around me. Who are the people in my environment that I can reach out to for as small as, a case report, a chapter writing, or
Yes,
any, small study, and just start going through like the description of journals, what kind of research people do they even accept. And in your hospital, there are so many professors. And mind you, not everyone is doing research, especially in countries like ours. Research is not, valued so much
yes,
because, we have to cater to the larger population for the treatment. So research feels more like a
yes,
luxury, but there are still like passionate researchers. I had my mentor, so I was lucky to find her, but it's our responsibility if we are starting our journey today and we expect that it would take at least 6 to 9 months or even a year to enter USA, then you should have at least 1, 2 projects that you
hmm,
can, dedicate your time to so that when you start applying, at least you can start talking about it even if you are not finished.
yes,
So if you are doing this study with a professor, so you can just casually mention, so we recently started working on this study. So that makes you someone who is like very passionate and also in it to win it. They are not fooling around. They are actually serious about the research, and that's what people want to know the most.
yeah,
And the thing that you mentioned, that you applied to the surgery, the cardiothoracic
yes,
departments, and the people. So, again, that clarity, having that clarity, even if you are direct out of med school or if you have done residency, not done residency, some clinical experience, but there should be at least 1 or 2 fields that you should be clear about, because would be like 1,000 professors and you cannot reach out to every person in
yes,
every field. So you have to kind of make a list and work out also what are your qualities, what are
yes,
you doing. And if given opportunity, if I give you the opportunity to work on research, what are the topics that would interest you? And did you ever go back and look at the articles? Have there been any research on the topics that you are interested in?
yes,
Because when I started writing these letters and emails to professors, so sometimes I would also add the research of theirs that kind of struck with
yes,
me, and
yes, yes,
that was really interesting for me. So
yes,
that makes the person reading the email kind of intrigued. Oh, this person knows my work. So they would read your application a little bit different and with interest.
yes,
So yeah, thank you for like sharing like the application process. That
yeah.
was very detailed.
No, thank you so much.